Hi there, everyone. Thanks for joining us for today's webinar. So looks like we have a good amount of you already here, so we'll go ahead and get started. So for those of you who are not familiar with our webinars yet, my name is Dorothy Mirak, and I'm the Digital Media Marketing Manager here at Grandstream. And for today's webinar, we'll be discussing the different features that you can find in our mid-range and advanced phones. So it's not just our basic IP phones that many people are familiar with, but how to really utilize the GXP 1700 series, GXP 2100 series, and our video phones to their full potential. It's more than just picking up a handset and making a phone call, but there's a lot of different features, whether they're apps or integrated directly into the phone, that really elevate your communications experience. So we're going to show everyone exactly what those features are today and how you and your customers can take advantage of them. So without further ado, we'll dive right into the presentation. We will have time at the end for Q&A, so for those of you who have questions, use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. You'll see a little Q and a talk bubble. Submit your questions there, and then at the end of the presentation, we'll have time for that Q&A. So without further ado, let's dive into the presentation. So as mentioned, we are going to be discussing the feature-rich endpoints that Grandstream offers that go beyond just those basic IP phone features. So to start, what we'll discuss today is an overview of our GXP series of IP phones, as well as an overview of our GXV series IP video phones. And then we'll dive into the advanced features that you can find spread out throughout this line. As mentioned, we will have time for a Q&A at the end. So first, let's go into the GXP series IP phones. So the first portion that we'll discuss today are the GXP 1700 series. Now, these are our newest additions to our GXP phone line. It is a mid-range phone that features high-end hardware design with the mid to high call capacity, as well as a large range of call features that will allow you to have a robust phone, a good-looking phone, something that looks high-end and gives you the call capacity that you need, but without some of those incredibly high-end features, that way keeping it more of an affordable phone. These are really well-suited for startups or companies that might be a little bit tighter on their budget but still need to be doing a lot, especially those who take high call volumes. They do have integrated BLF keys right on screen, and they can take medium to high level of calls as well. Now, most of you are probably very familiar with the GXP 2100 series of our high-end phones. Now, these have been out for years, but we add new versions periodically. So many of you, if you have not used Grandstream yet, you might have seen these on the market. For those of you who have used Grandstream, I'm sure you're very familiar with these, but either way, we'll continue to go into them. So what these phones are made for are really just high call volumes and also a high-end feature set. We have a variety of different hardware designs to suit your personal or office aesthetic. You also have a full suite of advanced telephony features such as Bluetooth. Some have a different variety of BLF configurations and methods of using them, as well as mid to high call capacity, so anywhere from 3 lines all the way up to 12. And of course, there's the GXP 3200 series IP video phones. Now, these are the highest end of our phones that you'll see. They are actually powered by the Android platform and feature touchscreens and also a full suite of apps that you can download from the Google Play Store. So this just elevates your phone from the high-end features that you'll find in the 2100 series, but adds also productivity apps and other kind of application features that you can both customize or just pick whatever you'd like from the Google Play Store. They do have integrated Wi-Fi and Bluetooth as well, so they come with a lot of flexibility and also a high-end look and a very large suite of features. So a lot of times what we hear from our customers are, which phone should I choose? Grandstream offers a lot of different phones, and of course we do this on purpose. We want to make sure that no matter the need and no matter the business type, you'll be able to find a phone that suits you, both feature-wise, price-wise, design-wise. So now I'll just go quickly into a comparison of all our phones so you can get a better idea of where you might want to place these, whether you're an end user and you're going to be using them yourself, or you're a reseller and you want to help give your customers the best recommendation on a phone that will suit their needs. So we'll start with the GXP 1700 series. So here we have three separate phones technically, the GXP 1760, and then we have the GXP 1780 or the GXP 1782. So these are those mid-range phones that give you the mid-range to high call capacity, but not with the high-end feature set, yet still give you a good amount of features for something that goes beyond just a basic 1 or 2 line phone. So here you can go between 6 or 8 lines depending on the phone that you choose, and you can have 3 SIP accounts on the GXP 1760 and 4 SIP accounts on the 1780 or 1782. Both phones have up to 5-way audio conferencing and 500 users in the phone book, which is LDAP compatible. We also have 4 different soft keys that are below the screen, and you can customize those based on what your customers need, whether it's a parking lot or maybe they need a quick forward key or something like that. You also have a 200 by 80 backlit LCD display, so these do have a large screen but not a colored screen, and they do feature PoE. One important thing to note, the difference is the dual gigabit network ports. You will only find this on the GXP 1782. You won't find it on the GXP 1760 or 1780. So if you have a customer that needs gigabit, that's your choice for the 1782. They do not feature Bluetooth as our other higher end phones do, so we'll cover that shortly. But all of our phones do, of course, have HD audio. What's the point of a phone if you can't hear someone clearly, of course? And when it comes to call functionalities, you're looking at advanced call productivity with anywhere between 6 to 8 lines, and the quick keys that you can use for efficiency to quickly transfer forward, put a call on hold, etc. And because you can have up to 6 or 8 lines, you can have high volume control. Another important thing to note, there are 24 or 32 digitally programmable keys on each model. Now what this does is allows you to program your BLF keys directly on screen. No need for an extension module, which of course adds cost, but also you can use just 4 of these keys, or you can use up to 32 if need be. And it's a good way to give that advanced feature on a phone set like this. Now for the GXP 2100 series, with 5 phones in this series, it can be a little bit more tricky to decide which one you might need. So we'll go over each one based on lines, SIP accounts. They do have a lot of shared features, so that makes it easy. There's a few main differentiators, however. So we'll start with the GXP 2130, it's 3 lines. You can move up to the GXP 2135, which is 8 lines, 4 SIP accounts. GXP 2140 is 4 lines, 4 SIP accounts. GXP 2160 is 6 lines, 6 SIP accounts, and then the GXP 2170 is 12 lines, 6 SIP accounts. So this way you can kind of see where the call volume levels will be. If you have someone who's a heavy user, you might want to go with the 2135 or the 2170. Maybe on the middle, medium call volume, you can go with the GXP 2130 or 2140. Now when it comes to conferencing, you have 4 or 5-way audio conferencing, 2,000 contacts per any phone that you see here, of course LDAP compatible, and then soft keys. You have 4 XML soft keys on the 2130 and 2135, and then you have 5 when you go onto the 2140, 2160, and 2170. So if you or your user is someone who needs some more customizable keys, it'll be important for you to move up to one of the higher phones to make sure that you have that capacity. Now, all of these phones do feature a color display. It does change in size depending on the phone. So the 2130 and 2135 have a slightly smaller screen, while you'll see a larger screen in 2140, 2160, and 2170. There is integrated PoE standard across all 2100s, and dual gigabit network ports also standard across all of these phones. Bluetooth is integrated, so we'll go over the unique ways that you can use Bluetooth connectivity with these phones. It's more than just being able to connect a headset, so we'll definitely go over that. And then, of course, HD audio, as that's standard across all of our products. When it comes to speed dial and BLF keys, this is an important differentiator that we always make sure we want our users to pay attention to, because some people might not need any, but if you have too few, that's when you have the problem. So in the 2100 series, we offer a variety of different ways in which you can use BLF, and this is based on both user preference, maybe how you like your design to look, So when you have the 2130, you have 8 built-in BLF keys. They are actually built-in paper BLF keys. They do come lit and everything like that, so don't worry there. But if you're someone who, kind of likes being able to pop out that paper, write in what you need, and you only need 8 keys, this is a perfect phone for you. If you need to step up your BLF keys, the GXP 2135 actually offers 32 virtual BLF keys on screen, very similar to the way that the 1700 series does this as well. When it comes to GXP 2140, these have no BLF keys built in. However, you can add the expansion module, which is the GXP 2200 extension. So this is a good phone that's flexible. If you really don't need BLF keys, this is a great model for you. Personally, I don't actually use any BLF keys, so this is my model of choice. However, if you do need to expand this phone, you can add the extension modules, and you can actually add up to 160 BLF keys. So it can go from a phone that doesn't have any, for those who don't need any, all the way to be flexible with up to 160 additional phones added through an LCD extension module. When it comes to GXP 2160, this one has 24 built-in BLF on the right-hand side. You can actually see that through the panel on the right. And then when it comes to GXP 2170, this is a big kahuna when it comes to BLF keys. You've got 48 virtual BLF keys on screen. And then you can also add the GXP 2200 extension module, up to 4 of them, for an additional 160 BLF keys. So for those use cases where, let's say, you're perhaps a very busy receptionist area, perhaps it's a hotel or something, you can have a lot of BLF keys, and it's very flexible in that way. And then, of course, when it comes to call functionality, these phones are really well suited for those who have medium to very high call volumes and need an advanced suite of different features, whether it's, the Bluetooth connectivity, the PoE, more contacts in the phone book. These phones are well suited for users that have those specific requirements. And then lastly, we'll just quickly go over the GXP 3200 series. Now, these are IP video phones powered by Android. So as a reminder, these are the ones that do have those Android apps available. Now, both phones are actually very similar in their features. What you'll see as the main differences are their layout, whether they have hard keys or mostly touchscreen, and kind of what BLF functionalities they have. So both phones have 6 lines and 6 SIP accounts. And they also feature 5-way audio conferencing and up to 3-way video conferencing. They have a phone book size of 2,000 contacts, of course LDAP compatible, and also 4 soft keys. When it comes to the display, the GXP 3240 has a 4.3-inch touchscreen LCD, and it comes with all your standard hard keys, so your numbers, your volume button, your transfer button, your hold button, etc. Then when it comes to the GXP 3275, it is only a touchscreen with 5 kind of navigation keys, and all of your features that you would normally find, such as your volume or your hold key, you'll actually find on screen through the touchscreen. So all the same features are there. It just depends on what you're more comfortable using. Do you have a user who wants more of the kind of traditional hard keys because that's easier, more intuitive for them to use? Or are you looking for someone who's probably doing more video calls, wants a bigger screen, and is very comfortable using a touchscreen technology where most of their buttons are going to be on screen? Now, of course, both are PoE, both feature dual gigabit network ports. They do have integrated Bluetooth, and a unique feature here, they also have Wi-Fi. This is really good for working environments where perhaps you don't have a wired connection throughout the office, especially in some of the more kind of advanced or new age working environments. You'll see that very frequently. So this is a good option for you there. All it needs is a power supply, and instead you can connect to Wi-Fi to make sure that you can have all your call features and capacities still be available on the phone. Of course, HD audio, that's standard. When it comes to call functionalities, this allows for SIP video calls, also allows for direct IP video calls if you're doing that, as well as video calls through your Android application. So many people might download Skype, might download Google Hangouts, and they can actually make video calls there as well. Not to mention, of course, the fun Facebook apps and different things like that. Or if you even have a custom app that you can download from the Google Play Store, you can integrate it on your phone as well. They have high call volume control, as well as those advanced call features. such as the Bluetooth integration, the Wi-Fi will go into, and the conferencing. So the other thing to keep in mind here, if you are someone who needs BLF keys, the GXP3240 is compatible with our extension module. So not only does it have a built-in MPK app, which allows for some BLF keys on screen, you can add the extension module if you need more BLF capacity. When it comes to the GXP3275, this one is not compatible with an extension module, but instead you would use that on-screen MPK app for your BLF keys. Alrighty, so now what we'll do is we're going to go into the advanced call features that you'll be able to find spread out throughout these 3 different phone lines. What that will do essentially is just show you what else you can do with these phones that's more than just joining an audio conference and making a standard call. We pack these phones with a lot of features. We want to make sure everyone knows exactly what's in there, how you can use them, what scenarios they're useful for, etc. And just as a reminder as we go in, please do use the Q&A feature if you have any questions. You can start sending them in now. We'll address them at the end of the webinar, but that Q&A feature allows us to be more organized in the way that we funnel and answer your questions. Alrighty, so the first one we'll go into today are the BLF multi-purpose keys. Now, as you saw in the previous slides, every single phone has some way of providing BLF or multi-purpose keys. Whether it's just a few, whether it's 160 or more, there's a lot of different configurations here. So what we offer is first we have either the integrated paper BLF keys. They do still come with your lit buttons that of course will flash red, show green for your indicators, but those will be featured on the 2130 and the GXP 2160. Then you have virtual on-screen BLF keys, and this is the key feature on the GXP 1700 series, as well as the GXP 2135 and the GXP 2170. And then, of course, those BLF extension modules, which is the GXP 2200 extension, and that is compatible with a few different phones as well when you really need to up your game, and you can have up to 160 keys there. Now, what are BLF keys important for? They're not just looking at someone's status and saying, oh, they're on a call. You can also pick up others' incoming calls. You can easily transfer forward calls using these keys as well. They're really great for, of course, high call volume centers. You can see which lines are busy, who's available when you're transferring phone calls, etc. Reception, you can easily transfer, getting the phone called in from the hotel reception. Oh, this needs to go to housekeeping. This one needs to go to room service. This one's looking for information on, laundry services, etc. Makes it quick, makes it easy. It enhances your customer service, but it also allows you to field more of those calls because you're assisting everyone as quickly as possible. Also great for operators and, of course, call centers. Even in more simple terms, it's a great feature to use amongst teams. So you have a 6-person sales team and everyone kind of specializes in a different product area, or, perhaps you're stepping out to lunch and you want to make sure you can forward all your calls over. This makes it a very easy tool for even within a small team to be able to route your calls and keep your phone working efficiently. So the virtual BLF or MPK keys that we have integrated on the phone, it's actually a relatively new feature. Say we've probably had this at Grandstream for about 1.5 years now. So some people are familiar with it, others are kind of, how exactly are you going to fit so many BLF keys on what is relatively a small screen? So for the virtual BLF keys and MPK keys, everything is on screen, and the way that you can fit so many keys on one screen is actually you can scroll through different pages. Now these are available on the GXP 1700 series as well as the GXP 2135 and the GXP 2170. The screenshots you see on the right-hand side are actually from the GXP 2170. This phone does have the largest screen and a color screen, so this is a really good representation of how easy it is to use these BLF keys once they're on screen. So essentially, what they would do is give you, you can, on your first page of your phone, you would have your standard accounts, extension this, extension that, but then you can start to add the VLF keys on the right-hand side. You can name them, you can put in other people's extensions, what have you, and as you can see, there is going to be color and icon indicators that will show you the different statuses. So the ones that are red right now, you can see either someone's away or someone's perhaps on the phone. If you are using a GXP 1700 series, it's not a color screen phone, but instead you're going to see different kind of highlighted sections, and of course the icons indicating who's available and who's not. What you can do when you have more than just one screen is just scroll through. You can see that on the right-hand side of the screenshot, you see that next button. You simply click on that and it will scroll through your screens to give you a full display of every single BLF key you have configured. Now, for example, the GXP 2170 can have up to 4 pages of BLF keys. If you only have 2 pages configured, you're only going to be able to scroll through 2. So it does kind of adjust back down to how many of those BLF keys you are actually actively utilizing. So these keys do support the standard BLF functions that most people are familiar with, and they also support this new presence feature that we'll be going over in just a few slides, which is kind of a more simplified but not quite a BLF feature. We'll get there when we get there. Don't want to over confuse everyone at this moment. Alrighty. The presence feature. So this is actually a new feature that was integrated through using the UCM series IPPBXs. For those of you who are not familiar with this, that is our IPPBX. We have the UCM 6200 series and the UCM 6510. So this is a free upgrade in a firmware. So this feature is now available to anyone using the UCM series, and our phones are in tandem. So what you can do with this new feature is those BLF and MPK keys can function as presence keys now. Essentially what presence is it's not necessarily BLF. It's something that allows you to know the status of other employees or other people in your area. And that way, maybe some of you are familiar with this on Skype. You go on and you want to talk to someone and they're listed as do not disturb or away. That doesn't mean that you're going to be forwarding calls directly to them, but it helps you know whether or not you can communicate with them, whether they're around, and just to know what people are up to. So there are a few standard updates or present statuses. First, of course, is away. Then there's do not disturb. There's available or unavailable, and there's also a feature that will show you that I'm available for chat. Perhaps I'm not available for calls, I'm away from my phone, or I'm in a quiet environment where I really can't take a call right now. And then on top of that, there are custom settings. So you can even create your own types of statuses, whether you want to say out to lunch, perhaps traveling for the day, in a meeting, etc. You can create those as well through the UCM. And the way that these are used is actually the user of the phone activates their specific presence through an easy code dialing. So they just dial a code, let's say it's *12, and now you're listed as away. *13, and you're listed as do not disturb. And as soon as you update your status, everyone who is attuned to your status on their phone can see it, and it's updated automatically. You can come back, cancel it off, and you're back to being available again. So this is a really great new feature, and it's a little bit of, like I said, it's not exactly BLF, but you can use these on-screen keys to show both presence and BLF if you wanted to. Now, Bluetooth. Most of our phones do have Bluetooth integrated. So the GXP 2100 series has Bluetooth, as well as the GXP 3200 series IP video phones. The 1700 series and the 1600 series, do not have that. So important to note, when it comes to Bluetooth, many people think, oh, connecting a headset, good, thanks, we're wireless, let's go. So it's actually, what we've done is we've integrated Bluetooth beyond just connecting your headset and adding mobility to your phone, although of course that is compatible. But what we have also done is allow you to connect your smartphone to your desk phone through Bluetooth. So, and what this will allow you to do is actually share your contacts from your smartphone to your desk phone, but also to transfer calls from your desk phone to your smartphone or vice versa, to continue your call in a different format. So let's say you were, commuting into work and you were on a phone call, came into the office, sat down at your desk. You can now transfer that call to your desk phone and continue your phone there. phone call there. Or perhaps, let's say you're on a call and it's running long and you need to get out of the office, same thing, transfer your call from your desk phone to your cell phone and continue on with your phone call without ever having a lapse say, oh, hey, sorry, can I call you back? So it's actually a really great way to make sure that your mobility is not just a little headset, but you can integrate it with your smartphone as well. As we know, I mean, most of us have our smartphone with us at all times, and it's a really good way to make sure you have this really comprehensive integrated solution beyond just the Bluetooth headset. Now, when it comes to Wi-Fi, our GXV 3200 series IP phones support this feature, and a lot of us take Wi-Fi for granted because it's just such a normal thing that we use all the time now. But what Wi-Fi, we've actually been getting a lot more requests for Wi-Fi phones, not just a wireless phone that might be using DECT, but actually Wi-Fi. So these are great when, you're in an office that doesn't have wired connections everywhere. Or perhaps your desk stands, in the middle of the room without a port that you can easily navigate to. You just might have some power outlets in the floor or something like that. All you have to do is connect that phone to a power outlet, and you can connect the wired connection directly, or the Wi-Fi connection directly to the phone, and stay on the office's phone network without missing a beat. And this also supports an 802.11 BGN Wi-Fi connection. And as mentioned, all features that you can use on your GXV 3200 series IP phone is available through Wi-Fi. So you're not missing any of your solutions. You're not missing any of your BLF keys or any of your apps or any of your video capabilities. Everything is still there in the same exact capacity using Wi-Fi. Alrighty, so when it comes to headset options, most people think, hey, an RJ9 headset jack, perfect, let's go. But there are a lot of different things that you might, a lot of different working environments that you need your headset jack to kind of go along with your mobility and your ability to have different features that you're looking for. So when it comes to our phones, we have an RJ9 headset jack with EHS integrated on every Grandstream phone. Now this is even the basic 1600 phones, but the phones that we're specifically discussing, every single phone does feature these. If you want to add wireless connectivity to a typical RJ9 headset jack, you use your EHS connector and you're good to go. Then, of course, there's Bluetooth headsets that are available with the GXV 2100 series and the GXV 3200 series phones. We offer a wide range of Bluetooth headsets that we've tested for full compatibility. Now, when it comes to our headsets, we know a lot of it is up to personal preference. Some headsets have more features than others. Some might be more comfortable, different sizes, etc. So we actually support over 13 different brands and over 100 different headset models. Now, we always recommend that you use a headset we have specifically tested with our phones to make sure you have the maximum compatibility possible. But we also when we are compatible with the headset, we make sure that it's very quick and easy to configure those. Just a couple of buttons and your headset's connected to your phone model. If you do want full headset compatibility information, you can actually find that on our FAQ on our website. You probably can't click on the link that you're seeing right here, but we will send a copy of this presentation to everybody, so you can click that link, or you can simply use the search function on our website and just click in headsets, and you're going to come up with a bunch of links that will lead you to headset compatibility charts so you can easily see absolutely every brand and different headset models that we offer. Now, another important mobility feature is Grandstream Wave. This is a free softphone application that was created by Grandstream, and it's available on any Android and iOS devices. So what you can do is use the app to connect your extension to your mobile phone and take calls wherever you go. What the Grandstream Wave app allows you to do is actually you can have up to 6 different SIP accounts configured through the app, 6-way audio conferencing. You can even add BLF keys. It does feature your kind of standard IPPBX or hosted features such as transfer and call recording, as well as that LDAP phone book that many people ask for. It does also feature two-way video calls via SIP and H.264. So not only can this be used with any IP-PBX, of course it can be used with the Grandstream UCM series of IP-PBXs, but you can also use it with the service provider. So if you do use a hosted service instead, then you can connect that with Grandstream Wave and have every feature basically from your desk phone moved over to your mobile phone. Great, especially for many of those people who travel, who might work from home and are, maybe more frequently away from their desk. So it is important to note that this is a free app that you can use with many other service providers. So you do not only have to use this with a Grandstream phone or a Grandstream IP-PBX. We want to make sure that mobility is not just exclusively within our products, but that we can help you utilize that feature outside as well. Alrighty, so let's continue. So the next thing that we want to bring up, or next feature, I should say, is Grandstream Affinity. Now, some of you might already be familiar with this. We released this a couple months back. We did do a very extensive communication campaign around this new feature, but I think a lot of people aren't quite utilizing it and realizing, what a great feature this is to add to your current Grandstream solution. So Grandstream Affinity is a desktop application that enables click-to-dial and different call management functions directly from your desktop or laptop computer. So what it does is it actually kind of works as a virtual dialer on your screen that connects back to your phone. So you would still be using a Grandstream phone and have it on your desk, and it just kind of mirrors what you would be able to do on your desk phone onto your desktop computer or your laptop instead. You can view all your answered calls, dialed, and missed calls, so all of that call history that you want to see. You can also even check out who you previously transferred calls to, etc. And you can use this to dial out directly from your desktop. And if you, let's say, you have a link to call off your desktop, you can click on that, and it will actually allow you to dial out. And it also allows you to have some advanced features such as manage your call forwarding, your do not disturb, and all those kind of related settings to make sure that it's not just, oh, when you type in this number, you've actually got pretty much all your call control through your desktop. What it does not allow you to do is configure your phone or change those kinds of settings, but any kind of daily communication tasks that you need to do, you can actually move onto your desktop now instead. So here is just a quick snapshot of what this looks like. So you've got your little manage your D&D and call forwarding on one screen, your on-screen dialer, very easy, intuitive, clean look, and very, very easy to use. And when it comes to setup, it's incredibly fast and easy. So what you do is you discover use the Discover feature to locate that Grandstream IP phone that's going to be on your network. It'll give you a code, and that's generated and sent to the phone. You put that code into the CTI desktop application, and the desk and phone just connect, and you're good to go and ready to use the shared features there. Alrighty, so that actually wraps up all of the advanced features that we want to go over with you guys today. So if any of you are looking for additional information, whether it's resources, user guides, etc., we have a very extensive amount of information on our website. There are so many products, so we want to make sure that we give you all the information you need at your fingertips, dependent, whichever feature you're planning on using. So what we always recommend, visit the resources section on any of our Grandstream IP phone product pages. Here you'll see a full list of user guides, quick install guides, instructions on setting up specific features such as utilizing BLF keys or the Grandstream Affinity application. All of this is here, and we have a wonderful engineering documentation team that really makes some thorough guides for all of our users. If you need more help beyond just our guides and instruction kits, you can go and get technical support either online through Reseller Connect or the Help Desk. If you're a reseller, please make sure you're using Reseller Connect. It gives you that priority technical support and the faster response time. If you are an end user, you can use our Help Desk, and our support team will assist you. And lastly, of course, if you're looking to make a purchase, if you don't already have a Grandstream sales manager, or if you don't work with a Grandstream distributor, just email us at sales@grandstream.com, and we'll be able to assist you to the next step. Alrighty, so now we are ready for the Q&A. So as a reminder, we're going to use the Q&A feature at the bottom right-hand corner of your meeting browser screen. So it looks like a Q in the talk bubble. Just pop that open and you can start submitting your questions so that way we can address them all in order. Alrighty, so the first question that we received, let's see, just a moment here. Alrighty. Is Newegg.com an authorized distributor of your equipment? No, it is not. It is actually an online reseller, and it usually sells products from third parties. We do not recommend using Newegg. They also do not provide technical support. If you are a reseller and you need an authorized distributor, always please use an actual authorized distributor where you will have a sales rep that will assist you. The distributor network that we use, they are here to support you and provide our resellers with additional support, not only on our products when it comes to things like RMAs, but making sure that you get better deals on, let's say you have a really big deployment coming up, and they can handhold you a little bit more and give you that extra icing on the cake that will complete your purchase process. So no, Newegg.com is not one. If you are a reseller, you can reply to sales@grandstream.com, and a dedicated sales manager will reply and make sure they connect you with a proper distributor. All right, next question. So why or when would you need a phone with so many SIP accounts? So the most common reason is usually a call center. Perhaps you're using many different departments, and let's say as a call center or call center rep, let's say you spend 2 hours dealing with technical support, and maybe you're going to switch over to general questions, something like that. You can actually pick up different lines. Also, it helps know what line the phone is coming in off of. So for example, on my phone, I actually have 3 different lines. I have our general marketing line, I have my own personal line, and I do have a third line for specific product questions. So that way, when I see a call coming in, I know exactly what that's going to be, and also that way I can kind of route my calls and know, oh, it's something from our general internal marketing line. All of us are on that line. Someone else will be able to grab it if I'm super busy. It also allows you to have more calls on hold. So if you have blank lines, you can grab a call. Let's say you got to put it on hold. It'll hang on an empty line, grab another call, put another call on hold, and allows you kind of more ability to manage those calls as well. Alrighty, so the next question, can you auto-provision the GXB3240 when connected via Wi-Fi, or do you need to manually configure the phone? So you would probably have to manually configure the phone. I would have to get back to you on, with that question, actually really good to see if you're someone who can make your own provisioning templates based on your particular service or whatnot. It might be possible to connect to the Wi-Fi network, but based on the way that most people use the phone, they do it manually when they're setting up the phone. Alrighty, next question. Is there a demo SKU number for the GXB3240? SKU numbers are actually specific to a distributor or reseller. So Grandstream, here at Grandstream, we just use our product name, so GXB3240. So what I would recommend is to actually contact your distributor or your reseller, and they can assist you with a demo of a phone. If you do not have one of those, please email us at sales@grandstream.com. We'll absolutely be able to connect you with somebody to be able to get you a demo. Alrighty. Next question here. Is it possible for the GXB3200 series phones to cause echo problems while speaking on inside or outside callers? So this is actually an issue that might be related specifically to a SIP trunk or to an ITSP, IPPBX, something like that, a small incompatibility with a certain setting that just needs to be changed. What I would recommend in this case is actually open a help desk ticket, whether it's the Reseller Connect or the help desk. Our engineers can help troubleshoot to see where that echo problem might be coming from and what the source is. It might just be a small little change in some of the settings and get that problem fixed right up for you. Alrighty. Okay, so next question we have is, how is it useful to use two lines when you only have one SIP account? A lot of times what this will be used for is to maybe take more calls on hold. So as I mentioned before, that second line can be used as a place to hold an additional call. You can also use that other line as, another incoming line. Let's say it's an extension, and you can actually have maybe your desk neighbor's extension also come to you. So when they're away, you can pick up their phone calls. You wouldn't be able to make calls out, but you can use that other line key for an additional extension or something like that. You just wouldn't be able to use it as a separate SIP account. You'd have to use the same kind of SIP standard. Also, you can have two different extensions on your phone if you want to. Like I mentioned, I personally have a few different extensions routed to my phone. That's what you can use that extra line for. Technically, it's connected to your same SIP account. It's just a different extension on your IP-PBX. Alrighty. Next question. Are all IP-PBXs of all makes and models compatible with Grandstream waves? So saying all is actually really difficult. Many are. We actually haven't really had many problems with using the app with other providers. The wonderful thing about Grandstream Wave is that it's a free app, so we're not asking you to pay for something if, let's say, you even have your own proprietary hosted IP-PBX system that's not compatible. Unfortunately, there's so many products out there that there could be hiccups, but it is compatible with the vast majority. It's also compatible with different ITSPs, so even if you're not looking at an IP-PBX and you have a hosted service, even if you have something like a Comcast or a Verizon account, you can use it as well. And then another question, will this be recorded and available to rewatch again later? So yes, we will send a copy of the presentation to everyone, and we will have a recording available as well. So don't worry about that. We'll get a follow-up email to you guys in the next couple of days, and you'll be able to access all of this information. Alrighty, so if you guys have any other questions, I'll stay on the line for another minute or two. Keep them coming in through the Q&A feature, and I'll be able to address them here. If, as I mentioned before, if you have a technical support question, you can open a help desk ticket or go through a Restart Connect account. If you're looking to contact our sales team, email sales@grandstream.com, and we'll be able to have a sales manager connect you with whether it's a reseller, whether it's a distributor. We operate in over 150 different countries around the world, so we'll absolutely be able to connect you with somebody. So if there's no other questions, we'll wrap up today's webinar. We're very happy to have all of you join us, and thank you for taking the time to learn more about our IP phone solutions. And we'll send a follow-up email with a presentation and a copy or a recording of today's webinar. So thank you again, everyone, and have a wonderful day.